Don't need any audio.
Audio will run on it. It will be around to
Only display.
Audio கேட்கலாம் பாருங்க.
okay.
I will be there.
But there will be no disruption, na?
Okay. Yes, copy it.
Please copy because I don't want anything stopping in between. 6:15 I have to release the girls also, na? But
Copy it, you can.
scan the drive, Surya.
No problem. I am using.
Okay, girls, you cannot waste any time. This is Miss Meenal. She will be taking a session, and I will not attend that session because that session is not for me. That's for all you girls. So please give a warm welcome to Miss Meenal. Meenal is working since last 25 years, and she was a vice president with a bank called BNP Paribas. It's a Paris-based bank, and she was heading a major project. Now she has taken a break so that she can, visit institutes like ours and help with educating, promoting, motivating, empowering not only girl students but students. Okay. So before we start with the PPT, Meenal will speak a few words. And
am I audible without mic?
I suggest you use the mic.
Okay. So good evening all. So very long day today. Already feeling tired? No? Oh, I'm so happy to know that. And trust me, this 1 hour sessions we will try to make as entertaining as engaging as possible, so that you will, at the end of this 1 hour session, I'm sure you will learn at least something that you will carry forward in your career when you are going for your employment. Not only the employment, for any other activities which you are going to the outer world. So this class is basically which standard? College guys. Okay, so 11, 12. First year, second. Oh, so it's not too far for you. It's 2 and 3 years from now. Probably you might be after that going for PG, or you might be going for your employment, looking out for employment and works. Okay. So this is the right time when you can implement all these things in your day-to-day life, because you don't eat the fruit on the same day you plant the seeds. It takes some time for you to nurture that tree, to nourish that tree, and then only it will start giving you fruits. Okay? So, today's sessions, I mean, Nalini has already talked about me, but I will take this opportunity to introduce myself. So, myself, Meena Rubetta. I have approximately 25 years of experience into the software industry. I have worked with most of the multinational companies, and my last company was BNP Paribas, and I was working there as a vice president. And I am a certified software trainer and aspiring image consultant. Okay. So, since this class is little big, I am not sure whether we can go with the introduction by one, but definitely as and when it's required, and if you have any doubts, I request you to please state your name so that I will remember you by that, because we have a short time. If I want to introduce everybody, then it will take at least 10-15 minutes to introduce all of you. So that's the reason we will introduce yourself if you have any question and if you have any doubt. If time permits, we will conduct some sort of activities. For that, please volunteer, because there is, at this moment, nobody is going to judge you. Please honor your friends. This is not any final assessment that is going on, and I am anyway external to you. So please feel free to ask your doubts, your questions, and volunteer to the activities that you might be conducting. Just a question, this first two bench, are we being forced to come here? Because when I take this first two bench, you are empty. So is it by force? No, right? It's voluntary. Oh, I'm so happy to know that you volunteer to occupy the first two rows. Okay. So we will start the session. First impression, make your mark. So right now, since you are in the first year, second year students, I'm sure you must be knowing what the first impression is. Okay? Anybody just want to state what the first impression is? Anyone, any volunteer? Take it as an opportunity. Anyone? See, there is no right or wrong answer. You want to go?
I am Christina Bharatanayak from Odisha, doing my final PG and coming. First impression is the best impression ever. If you are going to the interview, how you present your body language, the gesture you present to the interviewer is very important because the judge is the first impression. So while going for the first, when you go for interview, you need to present it presentable so the interviewer will be pleased with us.
So she notice, like she mentioned one thing. She mentioned about body language. Okay, so it's rightly it's been mentioned by Christina that yes, body language. So you have to be careful about what message you're passing through your body language. Okay, but when we are dealing not only with the interview and interview scenario, but daily when you're meeting the other people, when you're going out for any camp, when you're going out to meet people, when you're going for an interview, obviously, all this scenario, subconsciously or consciously, we are making some sort of like decisions. Okay? So let's see quickly. Is there any how will I? So, as I mentioned, we all have that power of perception. So, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or subconsciously, we always make some choice. So, let's take a scenario that in last week there was an NCC camp that was being held in your premises. Suppose you are going for some camp or some inter-college activity. You are working as a college representative or CR of your class, and you are facing some issue with your parent. Okay? So this is a scenario. So we'll consider 3 scenarios out of this one situation. So suppose you went to that particular college, and you are facing some issue, and you ask the coordinator that you want some clarification, whom you should meet, and that coordinator guided you to 2 teachers. By looking at it, whom do you think you will approach? Option 1. The same situation that you are there for a campus, and while going over there are various activities which will be conducted. One of the activity, say an elocution competition or debate, and you have to select your debate partner over that. You are given a choice to select a debate partner. Whom you will select? Option 2, right? Again, food is been organized over there, and the rest of the parameters are same. Okay, the test time that is required and the time that is required to deliver the food, all are same. Which one you will go for? Both are non-veg. But which one? You have to select only one. Option 2? Option 1? Okay, what is the reason for selecting option questions are this enough. Very delicious. Okay. But the food is delicious both the cases. It's not it's halfway cooked. As I said, the second. Yeah, the second one is more decorative rather than first one. Okay. So here what is happening is, as I said, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or subconsciously, you're always making your choice. Whom to interact, how to interact, what to be selected. And that based on the seeds lies to our era before civilization. When humans were living in caves, since that time, we always make the choice at the first impression. Okay? Because the most important instinct till date in human is a survival instinct. We always go for what is best for us to do. So when you meet a stranger, our mind asks only two questions first. First, is it a friend or a foe? Okay? That way we are trying to find the trust. We are trying to build the trust. And when we say foe, then we can take either of the decision, fight or flight, or make a friendship. When we say it's a friend, mind asks certain questions. Is it a person weak or strong? This is not weak or strong to fight, but to find the competency. So the similar way, when you go for any interview, the interviewer try to judge like that, whether this person is good enough and whether that person is competent enough for which this person should be selected for the process. So by the definition, if you want to go, it's the initial opinion or judgment formed about the individual, and not only about the individual, about the object. And that opinion is formed in iota of second, in fraction of second. And as research says, the first impression, any case, like how much time it required to have the first impression? It goes from 7 to 30 seconds, but first impression can be formed even at the 7 seconds. So it's basically start even before you start. When you enter the room, the message is already passed. And then the 30-second goes into justifying the impression which has been formed by the person. Okay? So it's formed as good as 7 seconds. And the important point to be learned about the first impression is it's always contextual. Your behavior or whatever the message that you are passing through your body language, your appearance, in one situation it might be right, but in another situation it may or may not be right. So far so clear? I think most of you must be knowing most of the things. I just reiterated some fact. Okay? So why it is important? You never get a second chance to create a first impression, however you try. Okay? It says that the first impression is the last impression. That's not true, but the first impression is a lasting impression there. So suppose you have that knowledge, you have that competency, but if your first impression is working against you, then in an interview, you might have to put an extra effort to prove yourself that how good candidate you are for that position. So make sure that your persona, your personality is helping you out in getting selected for that position, and not you're wasting your energy to prove that yes, you are the right candidate. So the technical skills may get your foot into the door, but it's your people skill or it's your first impression that will open the door for you. It will make you stand out of the crowd. If there is a selection criteria, and now you know how tough it is to get the jobs, how tough the market is, and what is the competence is there. So if you have to stand out of the crowd, then I always say that my decision is made in first 10 minutes. The next 20 minutes is find out the competency of the people, whether they will be able to justify the work or whether they will be able to do the work properly. So at this moment, make a point to yourself that your first impression is very, very important. You have to manage that. It's a message that you will be given through your first impression. Okay. So now what are the repercussions of the first impression? So as I said, first impressions form from the 7 seconds to the 30 seconds. What are the repercussions of that? So the first is confirmation of your first impression. So as I said, when you enter the room, your first impression is already formed in mind of the person sitting with whom you will be interacting. So what happens next is the person try to give the confirmation of the first impression. Had it happened with you that you are interacting with somebody, you're talking to your friend and you're explaining some scenario, and the person, your friend says, I know, she's like that. She will always behave like that. Or he is like that. Oh, that sir is very strict now, so no wonder that he has given this big assignment. Had it ever happened? Yes. So that is confirmation of the first impression. So when you go for any interview, sir, for today's sessions, since it's a short session, let's stick to the scenario of your interview and we will talk in that sense too. So suppose when you go for an interview and you enter the room, interviewer already perceive your image. If that person perceives you as a rude, then he will try to ask you the question, or that person will try to provoke you to prove the fact that yes, this person is rude. So see, whatever perceptions that I have talked, or perception that I have had about this person, about this girl is true. So the questions, the series of questions will start coming up in that sense. So that is what it is written over here. What we expect, we notice. Okay? So you all must have been seeing, right? If I asked you to notice the red color in this dress, in this room, can you just quickly grasp any red object?
Red object.
Have anybody noticed light yellow? Now. But when you are searching for a red, you are searching for a red. Okay? Then you ignore any other color. So that is over here. Like you notice what you want to notice. You may have 10 different capabilities, 10 different capacities. But if I perceive you to be snobbish, I will try to prove that fact to myself, not to you. Therefore, this person is like that. Probably not good for my work. Once that confirmation of the first impression is done, then the next steps come as a self-fulfilling prophecy and lasting impression. So what is a self-fulfilling prophecy? Anyone? See, we all are human beings. It's like, two peas we want to pot together. Okay, so we try to find out the people around us who are like us, like-minded, with whom my likes matters. So that is what the self-fulfilling prophecy and lasting impression. It's halo and on effect. So if your first impression is not good, whatever you do after that to make it right, they will see as a on effect. Or if your first impression is right, they will take it as a halo effect. Oh, this person, very good. This person is doing that way, and definitely whatever this person does must be good. Then comes a mirror effect. When the mirror effect says your behavior says the tone. Okay? So if you appear to be a very enthusiastic, knowingly or unknowingly, even the interviewer will try to catch that tone. And the interviewer also will be enthusiastic while interviewing you. And what will be the outcome if the person in front of you is quite enthusiastic? Will it help you? Yes. Yeah. So that mirror effect helps you in that way. And the last one is extrapolation. So extrapolation is like again similar to halo effect. Okay, this person is very good in communication. I am sure this person must be technically good. That person might not be technically good as the other person who is having not that good impression. But that halo effect is already been formed in that interviewer's mind, and it becomes little difficult afterwards to erase that and create a new impression. Okay? All must have done basic maths over here. Okay, in school. What is a square plus b square? Is normal a square plus b square? One hand. Raise your hand. A square is B square is A square plus B square. There is no other question. But A plus B square, A plus B in the bracket square, what will be the answer?
I am Prati Thapa. A plus B the whole square is equal to A square plus 2AB minus B square. Oh, plus B square.
So that means when there are two things which are in your favor, okay, the overall result is much more rather than.
Hi, Dave Goldbar here. Today we're going to discuss the importance of making a good first impression. We make first impressions when we meet someone new. When you meet someone for the first time, you want them to feel that you are rude or that you are pushover or really shy? Of course not. You probably want them to have the feeling that you are friendly and confident. Therefore, it's important to deliberately go out of your way to make the very best first impression possible. Let's watch an example of what not to do.
4 down to 15. Where is Bobby? Oh, he's on the way. He's on the way. Hey, that's my cousin Jimmy. Stay here for a few weeks. But this kid doesn't wind up on my team. So we need some new kid. Can't be on my team. My team's the player.
What went wrong? Think confident. Therefore, it's important to deliberately go out of your way to make the very best first impression possible. Let's watch an example of what not to do.
So you guess what happened over there, Ms. Moore?
Yes.
It's a new person, it's a new kid, nobody knowing whether he's a good person, a bad person, good player, a bad player. But just looking at him, it's perceived as a submissive candidate, submissive person or submissive player. And nobody was ready to select that person or that player into their team. Okay. Now, what makes happen is, of course, this is a fabricated, of course, this is a scripted video, but it will experiment. This happens into the real world as well. So now, what happens is that person just changed
4 down to 15.
the body and the
Where is Bobby? Oh, he's on the way. He's on the way.
Hi, Dave Goldbar.
So we need some new kid. Can't be on my team. My team's the player.
What went wrong? First off, Jimmy's body language shows a lack of confidence. His shoulders are hunched forward, his head is down, and he's unable to make eye contact. If he continues to present himself like this, he may find himself a target for bullets. Let's take a look at a better way.
Yes, our cousin Jimmy. Stay here for 2 weeks. Look, baby. Look. I'll take the new.
What was different about this scene? Simply by changing his posture, making eye contact with the group, he comes off as much more friendly and confident. So the moral of the story is, do your best.
4 down to 15.
Okay, so just a small change in his body posture and the eye contact, he perceived to be more confident. You remember what I says, like when people were leaving or the human being were leaving with a case, the two questions asked first, whether the friend or foe, and second is weak or strong. So the competency and the competency will help out, to have the further interaction. See, we all are human beings and we all have that some sort of the selfishness with us that comes right in the beginning. Nothing right or wrong over there. So always we think in terms of what's there in for me. WIFM, what's in for me. So if I think this person is going to help me into my work that is to be getting done, I will select. If I think this person is going to get selected, then I will invest some of my time to know the person better, to groom the person and to select the person. But if I perceive that person is weak, I am not going to invest my time, and your opportunity is lost there and there itself. So now we saw like why the first impression is important. This is a very wide topic to know like how to manage your first impression. But we will shorten it and we will see the first ABC of how to manage your first impression. But if you really want to go into the details, this topic is vast. I will give you some pointers. Maybe you can groom yourself on that later on. Okay. So the first in terms ABC, A stands for appearance. Okay. So appearance is your visual signature. It talks about how you as a person. So whenever you come, whenever you enter into the room, or probably when I enter into the room for the first time today, you definitely have perceived something about me. You must have made your opinion about me based on the way I have been talking, I entered, I smiled, I interacted. The second thing is as behavior or the body language. So the behavior and body language is a kind of feeling that we try to attach to it. So as I mentioned, appearance is your visual signature. So this is the C part. So what your eyes sees. Behavior and body language is what you feel about that person, what you think that person is. And confidence is one of the important factors because this makes the first impression as a lasting impression. In appearance, it's not about price, it's about polish. So when you're going out, just don't think that if I wear the branded clothes of Zara or maybe any other brand, H&M and all these things, then only I will have the good impressions. No. People wearing H&M and Zara also can make up blunders and create a bad impression because first impression depends on various other factors as well. So make a note that it is not about price, but it's about polish. That how good you are with that situation. It is contextual. I already mentioned that it is contextual. So when you are meeting somebody for the first time, there are three factors most important. First is situation, second is stranger, and third one is you. So there are three sides for this particular situation. So it's a contextual. Adapt to your persona as situation demands. You know her?
Yeah.
Kangana Ranaut. Okay. So she is a Bollywood actress, and of late she is been trying her presence into the politics as well. So if you might have seen her presence of this sort of the dresses, because she is trying to come or make her mark into politics. So remember the first slide itself says, make your mark. So it's contextual. Adopt your persona into situation. In our Vidhan Sabha, or she cannot go dressed like this. And to the film launch party, she cannot go like this. So she has to blend as per the situation. So remember that thing. Where you are going, what you are going, whom you are interacting, and your dressing should be based on that situation and as per your comfort level. Unless and until you are comfortable, you will find, some or the other thing that might be, pinching over here. So you're fidgeting, you're pulling your collar, you're pulling your dupatta. So make sure that you have taken care of what context, where you are going, what's the situation, and what your comfort level is. Neat is beautiful. Do not add too many detailing while you are going for an interview. Okay. Most of the corporate words when you go, they are the culture which is coming from Britain or America. And there, most of the time, the solid colors are perceived to be more stronger and more, it gives a more comfort level to you. So neat is beautiful. Make sure that whatever you are wearing is properly pressed, properly ironed, there are no wrinkles to it. The next point is comfort brings confidence. So as I said, make sure that you're comfortable. Don't just follow the trend. Wear whatever is comfortable, suits that situation, and then that will boost your confidence. Personal hygiene is very important. I know the people who say like when they meet a stranger for the first time, they first check their shoes. Because probably that's the most neglected piece or the part of our outfit that we have. So just make sure that you are having a personal hygiene from top to the toe. It doesn't mean that you are doing something extra or something different, but make sure the personal hygiene is maintained. When you are going, your nails are properly cut, your hair are properly tied, you are wearing a clean and neat dresses. The second term is body language. Okay? B is for body language. So the most important thing is smile. So when you smile, that person gets a little comfort level about a person with whom they are interacting. Second thing is eye contact. So that has been mentioned into the previous video which we saw. The person was not making eye contact, he was just hunching and then talking to people, and then he's perceived as a weak person. He's not perceived as a person who's having a confidence and having that required competency. So make sure you have the eye contact. Stand tall. If you hunch like this, it is considered as some burden on your back and it is considered that you are little weak. See, you have to open your frame. When you shorten your frame, you are being considered as a weak person. Okay? So always have the open gesture. So you are the first year students. So you must be knowing what's an open gesture and what's a closed gesture. Right? You want to help others? Your name and then probably you can be seated. No worries.
My name is Amna. I am doing my final Master of Commerce.
So what's an open gesture, closed gesture, you know?
When we come to a new place or like when we are going to approach anyone, we should stand in a position that it should show our confidence to the people that we are able to talk and we are not shy person. So that is the first gesture that we should show to the people when we start communicating to them.
That's right, but more about open or closed gesture position? Anything on that? Never mind. So you saw in, do you remember the second, or I think, no, yes. So when you are approaching somebody, or suppose you want to ask me for a help, you might, yeah. And keep on standing like this. Not like, sorry, not comfortable? Right. These postures are called as an open posture, these postures are called as a closed posture. See, you might have heard that somebody from Odisha, you're from Odisha, okay? In Sundarban, Kolkata, of course, it's not in Odisha, but your neighbors. Okay? So, when there is a leopard comes, okay, what's the first thing, or any animal comes? You know, like what as a first thing as human try to do. If you run, then you run. But first they see what's the animal is and then try to, try to extend their hands, extend their gesture just to make sure or just to give that perceived things to that animal as well that this person is larger than me or greater than me or bigger than me. So sometimes it works, then second is done. Okay? So these are called an open position. When you expand yourself, it gives you a little confidence. Try doing that. Try unfolding your hands. Try to see the water. Try to see this. Try to see like what sort of the change it brings to your behavior, your thought process. Okay? Stand tall. Stand erect. See what difference it brings. See, it's a scientific thing. When you hunch, your body will not get that enough space to breathe and to, throw out that air, which require for that particular communication. So, try to do that. You hunch and you stand still and say hello. See the difference, what it comes. A simple change in the gesture. What difference it makes. You can notice it yourself. Firm handshakes. And that is also very important. So, can I have one volunteer over here? Anyone? You want to come? Anyone? You want to come? Thanks, Krishna. So, how will you, when you are meeting somebody for the first time, how will you shake the hand? So, see how it happens is, it should be one hand, one arm away. Okay? Do not lean on the person, do not go away from the person, that handshake should be web to web. So, this is for web. Okay, so this is web to web. It should be firm. You should have a firm grip on my hand, but don't crush my hand. Just have a firm grip. Okay, and then just have 3 palms. Now, the way you are standing a little away from me. Okay, so probably I will perceive that you are afraid of me, you are scared of me. So it should not be like this. It should always be one hand away. Shake it for 3 times. One, not like this. a little extended. Shake it for 3 times. Okay, so that is called as a firm hand. Thank you, Prasanna. Right. So all these small things as well make a difference. Okay. Use open body posture. So as I mentioned, try to expand yourself. Don't try to confine yourself. You can have a chair here. Suppose you are going for an interview and you sit in front of an interviewer like this. See, there are different messages which you pass to your body language. Okay. What is it you perceive about me if I sit like this? Rude. It's a red back attitude. Maybe I am considering myself as a superior. Okay. Even cross my leg. What is it? I can tell you. Be open. Sorry? Boss. And suppose if I say like this. Humble, attentive. Okay, so these simple one things. You are sitting onto the chair and you are you're passing so many different messages the way you are sitting. Do you think when you are going for an interviewer and you are sitting like this, like a boss, is he going to select me? No. Okay. And as I said, as we discussed the repercussions of the first impression, he will try to ask a question in which he will try to prove that, see, this person rude, not good for this position. Probably this person directly should come as CEO, not as a team member, not definitely as part of my team. Okay, so be careful of that. So, on a fun fact, a little small
एच ने मैच शुरू होने से पहले ही हार मान ली। एच ने मैच शुरू होने से पहले ही हार मान ली।
So it's a small play, okay, but you realize what impact it can have. Again, I said this is a picturized with some scripts. So definitely those all are actors. But if you see even the actors when they are playing a role, they change their appearance as per the role. So that they will convince, the people are convinced that yes, this is a proper character. And then you can relate to that. Okay, so that is an important thing. A body language can bring to our day-to-day life. Okay, so with this, can I have 2 or 3 volunteers? It's a fun. We all are chichoring. So it's a simple thing, like you have to introduce yourself and your team will help you out in improving in certain things. Okay, so introduce anything which you want to talk. Probably then we will see how to improvise that introduction as well. Okay, ready? Poonam. Peter.
Hello everyone. I'm Pramdama, doing my second BCom. I'm very excited to introduce myself. So my hobby are dancing, singing, and reading books. And sometimes
I can wait, but the thing is, I think you have your next experience, so I don't want to get late.
okay, my name is Amo. I'm pursuing final Master of Commerce. My hobbies are reading books, and I'm good at dancing as well as shouting. And during my free times, I like to play games and do all kind of art and craft and practice dance as well.
So, be here for 2 minutes. So, thanks, Poonam and Amo. So, make sure that when you're going out for an interview or any other such an interaction, the first question asked is tell me something about yourself. So, you have to be ready with that speech. You cannot start thinking at every moment. So, this is the first thing every student who's aspiring to go out and search for a job must do. So, keep your speech ready. Okay. So now friends, do you have any suggestions for your friends? What should they implement? Whatever we have seen so far in the body language.
Just telling that the posture should be straight. The way they present themselves, the posture should be maintained in proper manner.
Don't feel offended. We all are doing that. Okay, so now I am new to this. So if you see, I am also new at saying that have the open body motion. I am also not open. I am just confined to this. So these are the suggestions that for all of us. So whenever you are talking, have the proper standing, equal weight on both of your legs. Your hands, either if you do not have mic or anything, then on your side. Or this is called as a staple position. So most of the time, go for a staple position if you don't have any, the mic in your hand. Now, after these sessions, go and start looking at some sort of the discussion on the clippings which are there from the world leaders. Modi ji, or maybe our politicians, or maybe Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is one of the good speakers, by the way, you must listen to me. Okay, so see what are the positions that they are saying. Again, as I said, have the open position. Try to give your hands a little open gesture. Stand tall. And have that firmness in your heart, in your voice. Do you want to try once again? These are all your friends. No evaluation, no marking. And trust me, you are brave people that you are coming here in front of all and you are practicing this. So all these suggestions which all your friends are going to give definitely help you out. So do you want to try once again with your introduction?
Hello everyone. Hi. So my name is Priyankana. I'm pursuing my second BCom. And I love to play football, dancing, singing. And I like to become HR. Thank you.
That's wonderful, Tina. At the end, she said thank you as well. So could you feel the switch in her tone, in her body language? When she changed her body language, could you feel that? Do you feel, how do you perceive her? Do you perceive her as now more confident, or previously she was more confident? She was more confident. Now she has an improved or increased chances of getting selected for next round at least? Yes. So you want to try now? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Amu. I'm pursuing my final Master of Commerce, and I would like to tell some intro about myself. I'm good at dancing, I can sing, but not so good. I can shout, I can do all kind of things. I can be so interactive as well. If you have any question about me, you can ask to me. Thank you.
So big round of applause to both of them. First you come forward, stand over here. It's not that easy. It's not easy. However experience, however talkative you are, when you come and stand in front of the 15-20 different people, most of the people get cold. And this is one of the biggest fear of the people as of now, which is being identified by the surveys, that speaking in front of the people. So congratulations to both of you that you came over here and you made it point. Okay. Now about her, how do you feel? How was her performance? Anybody? How she projected herself?
The interaction with the audience.
Okay.
Earlier she was not giving the interactions with audience, but now she gave the interaction with audience. She's giving good interaction.
In our previous slide, do you notice that I mentioned something about mirroring? Do you think she's trying to mirror me? Do you think she tried to do whatever I am trying to do?
Yes.
Okay, so that is not mimicking. That is certainly not mimicking. This is mirroring. So in mirroring, you are trying to connect with a person in front of you. You try to get some of the traits so that both of you are on the equal plane, and then when you are in the same plane, then communication becomes more easy. Right? So these are the small things that we have to keep in the mind. See, everybody knows that when I am going for an interview, I have to dress properly. Okay? All are Bollywood lover over here? Yes. Right? We saw Kangana Ranaut.
Yes.
Have anybody seen Ekta Kapoor? Ekta Kapoor in any of her appearance? No? So even though she wears all those branded clothes, the image that you perceive is not of that confident and a proud person. So it doesn't matter like how costly clothes you are wearing. It matters in how you are wearing, what you are wearing. It doesn't matter that you are using any polished English or not. More important is how you are saying. Are you confident to work while speaking that? Are you comfortable in doing that? That's what matters. Okay. So with this, we have covered A and B of our ABC, which we promise. Okay. So the last C stands for confidence. So it's an image which you carry about yourself. So what is inside comes outside. So be confident about your knowledge. Be confident about what you are. You have reached over here. I'm sure the journey must have been simple or easy for you. Each of you have their different battle which you have fought to reach over here. So be proud of yourself that you are in this male-dominating society. You are sitting over here, you are taking this education and you are competing with the other world outside. So be confident. So whatever inside is being shown outside. But if you are confident enough, you can cover this with some small jokes or weaknesses. For example, suppose if I tumble while entering a meeting room, I might say that, okay, that was an icebreaker session for this meeting or this interview. Now we can continue with our interview. So there, the interviewer also will perceive you as a confidence person. And that control on a situation comes because you are confident, you are calm, and you are poised. When you are confident enough, communication becomes clear. So when she came for the first time, it was her first time. I'm not targeting you, but I'm just using you as an example. So when she came here for the first time, she was caught unaware. So she was even, I asked her to represent herself, something about herself. You are the best person to tell something about yourself, right? But then also we take only 3 sentences, it could be explained about ourselves. That is because we were not calm, composed. She was probably for the first or second or third time standing in front of big crowd, and that's the reason it takes a little longer to gain poise, calm, and then come with that structured mind. Okay, so confidence brings that communication clear, and it brings that trust automatically. Remember the 2 questions which we always to ourselves: friend or foe, and weak or strong. So if the strong person, definitely he will be my ally. I don't want to select a weak person and then spend my time to upbring that person to the level of the competency. That happens only in families, where you support each other, or in friends, where you support in each other. But when you're going for an interview, you have to give that trust factor that yes, I am the strong person, I am your friend, and I am the competent enough. Okay? And this brings us to the end of the session. Okay? So now, just to go, once you go out of this session, I do not want you to forget whatever we discussed over here. So just make sure of whatever we have thought about ABC. There are multiple things, we can talk even under the motivation. We just saw just a part of it, that how to shake your hand while doing the proper handshaking. But there are the multiple ways in which you can do that, and that can be demonstrated. So make sure that there are certain things that you will promise yourself to do. There are certain things which you will say, I will start doing it. I will stand stop. I will not have the closed body posture. I will stop having the closed body posture, and I will continue having that proper confidence. So make one point at least for you, which you are going to start, stop, and continue. Your personal improvement plans. Now you know, like, you are the best person to know yourself, and you are the best person. You are the best friend of yourself. So as a best friend, you know what are your areas of improvement, what are the qualities you have. So make sure that, okay, and always remember, if you don't plan your future, you are planning for a failure for sure. So plan for your future. Start planning for it. And as I said, that right moment is now, because the day you want to eat the fruit is not a day when you. to get to that level, that the tree to get to that level. So make sure that you are starting on it from today onwards and bringing that confidence in you. If you have any further questions, you can ask. Any questions? Was it interesting or? Yes. Did you learn something? Yes. Okay. We are done or we have any?
She'll just give you some thanks.
Okay, good evening once again. Ma'am, we are thankful for the session because it's been more useful for the final year students as well as final year masters who are doing right now. Because when they start, some of the girls didn't have any plan in their head, but you gave them some ideas which would be useful that they still had like 4 to 3 months for practice. So and go for the job. So we are thankful for your session. It was interesting plus interactive because most of the seminars, I'm not saying bad about them, but some seminars it's not audible. So when the person who is giving the presentation is audible, then the audience won't sleep. So your session was interesting, that's why officer, right? Still.
Thank you all. All the best for the future. Thank you.